welcome to this Spirit Gathering teleconference. Today is Tuesday, June 15th, 2021. And my name is Laura Smith, Reverend Laura Smith. And this is our Solstice Gathering. We are so glad you've joined us. So as we just mentioned, we're recording the call, and so this will be available to listen to afterwards, and you may also wish to mute when we're having a discussion, just to keep the recording clear and the line clear. So today will be, the core of it will be a meditation, and we will kind of set up and attune to the energies of the solstice and these very powerful astrological events that are going on. And we'll have a chance to kind of go around and set an intention, and then we'll have some sharing afterwards. So we could just take a minute to do kind of a brief informal check-in before we kind of set the energies, if you'd like. So we can just go around and kind of say, how you're doing, where you're from, anything, for a minute or two. So whoever would like to begin, and we can use the talking stick if that's comfortable for everyone, just to keep communication clear. So whoever would like to begin, and welcome. Who's joining us?
My name is Ayana. Ayana Phyllis.
Great. Welcome.
Who is this?
Just kidding. This is Laura Smith hosting the call tonight, and we have Diane Wyan and Veronica, Catherine, and Sue also on the call tonight. So welcome.
Okay. I'm glad Veronica is there.
Okay, great. So we're just starting a brief check-in, and so we can just take a moment to say hi and whatever you'd like to say about how you're coming tonight, and we'll go around. So whoever would like to start.
This is Diane. I can pick up the stick. I'm Diane in Annandale, Virginia, outside of D.C., and I'm coming to the call ready and eager to learn what you've prepared around this solstice. Thank you. I'm complete.
Hi, this is Veronica in New York. I come to the meeting having a day of a lot of information, transformation, a lot of hard work, and soul searching with my job. And I come to this meeting tonight very open-minded to accept exactly what the higher power wants me to take away. Thank you. I put down the stick.
This is Ayana Phyllis. I am picking up the stick. I'm in Manhattan, a few blocks away from Veronica. And I just had this infusion of energy, maybe about an hour ago. Oh, I can see clearly. I can love myself. I mean, it sounds kind of hokey, but no, I really, I really felt myself coming back to myself. So thank you very much.
Okay, this is Sue Rowetter, and I am in the middle of the country, Nebraska, and I came here eagerly, and I'm very glad to be here and to commune with our higher selves and our family of divine light, and so I'm glad to be here, putting down the stick.
Catherine, picking up the stick here in New York City. I've had kind of a challenging day. I was out in the world shopping and laundering and everything else, chores. And I was startled by the way people are behaving here in terms of the COVID restrictions being lifted, and many folks are acting as if nothing is going on or nothing has been going on. And I think the disturbing part to me isn't so much that people in the area are celebrating their so-called freedom, but there's this lack of attention to what's going on in the rest of the world and how many people are just ignoring that problem. They're cutting off their energy from the rest of the world. So I'm going to enter tonight with the idea of togetherness, and I think with all of us here being together, we can help infuse some energy out to where people will be looking outside of themselves. Putting down the stick.
Great, thank you. And this is Laura picking up the stick, and I've been at home today, kind of preparing for the call and doing some things around the house, and so had a chance to kind of gradually attune to the energies, and I'm feeling it very strongly now that the call has started. So I'm excited to see what the energies have for us, and very glad to be here with you all. So I'm putting down the stick. Okay, great. So now we can kind of formally set the energies. I will say the kind of Tzaddi invocation, and then we can go around and I will say a few words about the astrological backdrop of tonight. So you may wish to find a comfortable seat. We'll be in meditation for 15 or 20 minutes. If you want to grab a drink of water or anything like that, notebook, pen, this would be a good time. So let's take a moment to get settled, to center ourselves, to let go of the events of the day, and begin to enter the deeper, sacred space within ourselves. Now, let us imagine that we are joining together sacred heart to sacred heart with every other person on this call right now. Now let us imagine that we are joining together in a circle with a light or flame or fire in the center. Imagine a spoke of light coming from the center of the circle to your heart and for each person on the call tonight or listening in afterwards. Now we are connected, sacred heart to sacred heart. Let's spend a moment enjoying that connection. Now let us set our intentions. We listen to one another with compassion and curiosity. We ask for what we need and offer what we can. We deepen our connection with one another and the divine. May this sharing serve us, our communities, and the planet. And so it is. Okay, wonderful. So I'm sure that many of you are familiar to some degree, at least with the astrological events that have been going on. I'll give a little overview of some of the main points, and feel free to share others that you're aware of to kind of help us tune into the energies, and then we'll be able to go around and set a more kind of precise intention for the meditation part. Okay, so I'm drawing mainly on the astrologer William Stickevers, Stickevers, who I follow. He's a kind of transpersonal transpersonal astrologer in a sense. He draws on transpersonal psychology. And I've also added a couple of comments from another astrologer, Anne Ortoli. So if anyone's curious, I can pass along those references. So this period of time is very powerful astrologically, and the solstice is kind of the culmination. So what struck me in kind of thinking about the call was that it's like a very powerful day that marks a very powerful year, and indeed, a couple of years in our collective experience. And William Stickevers is very much kind of looking at the big picture, and he sees this whole period of years as being the kind of ending of one social order or era and the start of another, and that's kind of signified on many different levels astrologically. But the way that he puts it in his lectures is that we're really literally looking at something, experiencing something on the level of the fall of the Byzantine Empire, or, one of the great empires in history. It's that big and that significant, right? And so he says in his literature, we're undergoing a kind of a psycho-spiritual death rebirth process. Okay, and this is marked by simultaneous destruction and creation. I think we're already starting to see some of that going on, and it's reminiscent of the kind of Chinese curse that's well known now. May you live in times of opportunity, right? So opportunity and crisis are the same character, right? And so Stickevers said in his most recent lecture, this is the biggest shift in our lifetimes. The biggest shift in our lifetimes is about to happen now. Everything is up for grabs. He makes the point that though this summer, since, the restrictions of the lockdowns and so on have been lifted, we're in a kind of a lull period that is, genuine. It's actually based on some astrological things. It's, feels appropriate to kind of enjoy the summer and the bounty, but that it's kind of superficial, and that big things are about to happen. Okay, and so if we put specifics to that, you might be aware we have had 2 eclipses so far this year, and there's 4 in total this year. There's 2 lunar and 2 solar. And so we've been through the lunar earlier in the year in May, and now the one that just happened on the 10th of June was the annular solar eclipse. And so that, of course, is kind of potentizing this solstice. And as you may be aware, this annular solar eclipse means, the word annular, that the moon is a little bit smaller because of where it's placed in the sky, and it creates a kind of a corona, interestingly, or a ring of fire around the sun when it eclipses, right? So it's a very powerful, kind of visual. And it also happens to be on the new moon. So it's extra powerful in that way. And furthermore, which I find very interesting, it is taking place at sunrise, or it took place at sunrise in Washington, D.C. Okay, so a lot setting up for kind of social changes. In addition to the eclipses, we have an ongoing Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, which Stick Evers talks a lot about as a kind of a, changing of the social order, the kind of social revolutions and so on. And this is ongoing over, a couple of years. But it's, Jupiter is kind of expansion and, optimism and so on. Saturn is the kind of status quo, the hierarchy, the order. And so these planets have a kind of a natural rivalry or antipathy, but it's kind of shaking everything up. In addition to the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction is Saturn-Uranus square. And we are about to get, just actually yesterday, the second round of that square as the planets go back and forth on the 14th. And Saturn-Uranus is also a kind of a explosive combination, but it can be very creative. And so Stick Evers uses the term creative disruption for Saturn-Uranus square. And he focuses a lot on the kind of new technologies that will be rolling out. So I think this is very interesting, and there will be maybe a lot of good things that will come out of this, although, the old order kind of crumbling will, clear the way for this. So this Saturn-Uranus square can cause, a lot of kind of disruptions in the social sphere as well, with Uranus kind of, being the revolutionary or kind of new, thinking outside the box. So in addition to all of that, we're in a Mercury retrograde, which will end on the 22nd, which happens to be the day after the solstice. So it's very interesting in astrological terms. All of this is kind of happening in a period of, retrograde, of course, means a kind of a period to review and correct and, recollect and reminisce and so on, repair. And so I think it's very interesting that these kind of political, social triggers are taking place in that context. And last but not least, then we have the solstice, which, of course, we're attuning to tonight on the 20th in U.S. time. It's the 21st in some of the calendars because that's Greenwich Mean Time, but it's actually something like 10:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time, so evening for us. So, of course, the solstice then is kind of flavored by all of these aspects going on simultaneously. So Stick Evers, talks about this transformation, biggest shift in our lifetimes, and he pinpoints 4 different areas of life: economic, political, social, and technological. And he sees all of these as being up for transformation and pretty radical transformation in the coming period of time. And indeed, I think we're already seeing that underway. The other little footnote is that on a few days ago, June 11th, Mars is moving into the sign of Leo from, I believe, Cancer. And so Mars will have a lot more power and kind of straightforward energy rather than being a little bit kind of muddled maybe in Cancer. So that should be quite interesting to track. And maybe in terms of personal energies, we can express that Mars energy in terms of action and intention and so on in a kind of more clear and focused way. Okay, so that's a little overview to help us tune into the mix here. And so now we can go around and set up for our meditation period. So we can spend, 15 minutes or so in meditation. And so we'll just go around again and with the talking stick, and you're welcome to set an intention to focalize the energies, and then we can go into the space and let the energies percolate. So whoever would like to start.
Catherine, picking up the stick, coming into the meditation, my intention is togetherness. Putting down the stick.
This is Veronica picking up the stick. My intention coming into the circle and the meditation is to draw the good energy that's circling about us and allow it to flow into, through us, around us, all of us, to share it and embolden us to move through this time of major transition, because the universe needs us to be emboldened. And the intention is that we gain courage from this meditation to go forth, to do what needs to be done. I put down the stick.
This is Ayana. I am picking up the stick. I love what I've heard so far, and beautiful. And for me, it's going deep inside me and us to find the river that's flowing deep inside me. That's both flowing and strong and rooted at the same time. And being who I am, I can give love out to the people I love and the love that I want to give. Being my true self, I can contact that love. Thank you.
This is Diane, and it's so interesting, Iona, what you shared is very similar to what I was feeling and thinking. And in my consulting work that I do with people, I work with some people in transition, usually one seeking from one job to another. And I always talk about this river that runs through us, which I think is divine, the divinity, and our essence self. And so I was thinking very much along the lines that you shared, which is that deep river and essence self, and for that to naturally arise in complete harmony with the flow that is always present and that continues to unfold with great ease and for the highest good of all, and with lots of love and light. Thank you, I'm complete.
Okay, this is Sue, and I will pick up the stick. It's been interesting over the last 30, 40 years watching as these shifts happen, and it seems like in one way this shift has been going on for many years, and we just go in waves and stages, and we shift and shift and shift. And so here we are again with another significant wave. And during these times, I mean, we commune, or at least I do. I can't speak for everybody. I try to commune all the time with the divine, my family of divine light, my guides and teachers, and stay grounded. And as these shifts happened, and this is my intention today, is use this opportunity to ground deeper and to receive the energies and continue to ground them and allow them to fill my field so that they are projected from my field wherever I go and whatever those energies are. But that is my intention, is to ground more again and receive from the divine and my family of divine light and receive the guidance. And that's it. I'm putting down the stick.
And this is Laura. I'm picking up the stick. And my intention is to feel into the energies of these solstice and these astrological events, and to glean the guidance and the intelligence that they have, and to get direction on how to proceed going forward, both personally and in terms of the collective. And I'm putting down the stick. All right. Wonderful. So we can take about 15 minutes. And so I invite you to get comfortable and maybe touch once again on this grid work of light connecting us. And we'll sit in silence, and at the end of the time, I will invite us to come back. And so I'll see you on the other side. And beginning to bring yourself back into ordinary reality. And taking a moment to make that transition. Making any mental notes, maybe physical notes about what you found in the space. You might drift away. And as you come back into your body, just wiggle your toes and your fingers. Feel your body in the chair. And just come back to your physical body. And we'll just take a moment to come all the way back. And as we come back and start to transition into verbal space for sharing, we can thank the energies and the guides that have been with us in the space. And when anyone is ready, feel free to share. We can take a couple of minutes each to share, and so when you're ready, you can pick up the talking stick and begin.
Catherine, picking up the stick. I tuned into a lot of the intentions that were given earlier on, especially the image of a river that flows, but which is also rooted to give and receive, and how the shift in waves and stages needs to be grounded in the earth energy to spread out. So I took a little trip. In my mind, I went to there's a little boardwalk up here where the rivers meet in Manhattan, and it's a favorite place of mine to meditate or just think of nothing and watch the wild fowl and look at the flora. And I took a trip up there, and I was sitting in my favorite spot, and there was a figure walking on the water, a figure very much like what one might imagine Jesus to look like, but not necessarily be that particular man or Christ. And the figure spoke to me and said, "Guidance will come. You will know how to go forward. Guidance will come." Putting down the stick.
Mm. Great, and this is Laura picking up the stick. And I had a very striking and vivid image as I got into this space, and it was as if a group of people, and it was almost like a kind of a village, almost like a tribal village, were holding up a basket, kind of a large basket, and they were holding it up with their hands so that many different people's hands were kind of holding, the basket up towards the sky. And it was at first this kind of energy or attitude of almost beseeching, or almost like the basket was a cup that was asking to be filled from the heavens, the kind of the bounty of the heavens. And it was this sort of seeking or yearning to be filled. And then it kind of transformed into more of a sense of like confidence or competence. And there was just a visual of like a man's forearm kind of taking the basket more firmly or confidently and kind of beginning to bring it down and maybe, offer it around to the people. So it was very vivid and nothing that I was kind of expecting or thinking about before. And so what I kind of take from that is it was very much it's like the people are going to do this transformation. It's, a grassroots thing, not the, hierarchy or whatever, but it was this kind of very organic sense of the people working together. And then there were several things that kind of flowed in and out, but the other one that I want to share is that I got a sense of the space industry. I actually flashed on Elon Musk and the rocket that he's sending into space, and I kind of got the sense that what I was being shown was that the economy, we were talking about, changes, transformations, that in the coming years, a lot of the focus on industry and economy is going to be geared towards space and the space technologies and, transportation and really bases that we may already have up there, but that will give, a direction and a lot of opportunity to open up new technologies and industries. So I thought that was very interesting. And I'll put down the stick.
This is Sue. Several years ago, we have, at least this is my belief, we have councils, intergalactic councils, that are watching over us, our guides and teachers, the divine, but these councils. And several years ago, as the planet humankind was wreaking havoc and still is, the councils were taking a vote. Some were saying, just go ahead and let them destroy themselves. We have supported them, we have given them guidance, we have done all these things, and they don't want to hear it. And the collective conscience of the planet rose up and said, oh, please help us. Don't give up on us. And the council took another vote, and they agreed to continue to support mankind and support the planet in overcoming all their ways of being. And so we get these shifts. And there's so much love out there. And that's what I was reminded of, is to remember how really loved this planet is, how loved mankind is, how much we are supported, and how much we have a cheering section rooting for us, rooting for all the good when we come across it that we do collectively in the collective conscience. And it's still a battle, but it's a worthy battle, as John Lewis would say, good trouble. And so that was what I was shown, was remember how loved you are. Not me personally, but remember how loved and how supported you are, each and every one, to keep working and keep rededicating yourselves, using the energies of these shifts to propel yourselves forward, propel yourselves higher and further, and anchor the love that you receive. And so I lay down the stick.
This is Ayana, so I pick up the stick. I love what I've heard, that we are loved as a universe, as a planet. That the decision has been made in our favor, and for me to remember that is really beautiful. And when I'm angry and whatever, it is somehow an expression of that love if I can unravel it. And I just saw a green forest and the sunlight permeating the forest, a hazy sun permeating the forest. And I was also sending blessings to my nephew who has just graduated as a psychoanalyst. And, so that's pretty much all for me. I will continue being in this space. Thank you.
This is Diane.
Veronica. Oh, no.
No, you go
Diane,
ahead.
go ahead. No, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. So I feel like I feel like the whole thing was 3 minutes. I was so surprised to hear your voice, Laura. I could have sworn it was 3 minutes. And I was in monkey mind, just with just monkey mind stuff, logisticy things. But I feel like underneath that was like the cilia, are those little hairy things in the lungs, and I feel like that there were some that were twisted that needed to be untwisted from one another so they could flow better and do their work and job better. And so I've just been really taken with that, because the lungs are what it's breathing, and breath is what life is and what connects us to the divine. And I don't know, it just felt like it was very surfacey and yet deep. And so I'm feeling grateful, and that's what I have to share. Thank you.
It's Veronica picking up the stick. Thank you for the word monkey mind. Thank you. What I experienced was immediately, I felt as I could see us sitting around the fire, and I was consumed with fire. It just filled me. Didn't destroy me, just filled me like a lamp, and I wanted to share it with the rest of the circle, and it went to two two others of us, and then it stopped because it was saying we don't want consumed, and I could feel that it was not a fire of consumption. It was a fire of courage and purification. But it stopped for all of us. And then I got confused and realized that I had not been able to drop what I had been doing before I came into the circle. So I allowed it. And I just knew that something was happening on a base level for me that I just knew it was happening, but it wasn't making itself known to me. And when you spoke, Laura, I jumped off the floor because I was meditating lying down on the floor. I just bolted. I was that deep into a feeling of trust that something on a very basic level was percolating. And I put down the stick.
Beautiful. All right. So, pretty powerful energies. So, we can begin to kind of put a bookend on our session tonight and begin to come back into ordinary reality. And as we leave, it feels like it would be just a nice closure to do a round of what we call checkout, just a word or two of what we're leaving with. So I will start. I would say I'm leaving with renewed faith and gratitude. And I put down the stick.
Catherine, picking up the stick. I'm leaving with guidance. Thank you, everyone. Putting down the stick.
Veronica, picking up the stick. I'm leaving with gratitude that Mercury goes direct after the 22nd. I put down the stick.
This is Ayana. I didn't hear what everyone was laughing at, but I am picking up the stick, and I'm seeing a bright moon. I'm seeing light, that's gentle. That's holding me and shining on me. Thank you. And I put down the stick. I never put it down, but.
This is Diane. I'm leaving with gratitude and awe. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. Anyone else? Did we get everyone there?
This is Sue. I will check out. I am leaving with gratitude also and such gratefulness for the support we as a planet have from these incredible beings, and I'm grateful for our family of divine light that watches over us every day and everything we do. So I leave with thanks and gratitude, and gratitude also for being able to share this communion with this group. And so I put down the sticks.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So I think everyone went. Correct me if
was this
right.
recorded by any chance?
Yeah, it's being recorded, so it should be available. I'll actually go into the closing that'll give that information. Okay, so thank you for joining us for this Spirit Gathering teleconference. The call may be archived as an MP3 at www.tzaddi.org. Phone access to the recording of this call is available until next month's call, which in this case is actually September. So for playback of the recording, dial 712-432-1085, access code 990-322 £. So let me know if you need me to repeat any of that. We hope you will join us for our next Spirit Gathering, which will be in September on the 21st, Tuesday the 21st, which Diane and I were saying it's interesting that's around the fall equinox. So two very powerful dates in a row. We take July and August off usually for Spirit Gatherings. These calls are hosted by Tzaddi, an interspiritual metaphysical organization founded in California in 1964. Tzaddi welcomes, nurtures, and supports people in celebrating and more directly experiencing their relationship with the loving presence of the divine. Our programs are open to people of any race, color, or national or ethnic origin. Visit www.tzaddi.org to learn more, including a full calendar of events hosted by Tzaddi members. We will close now with thanks and a blessing. Thanks to Tzaddi founders Amy Keyes and Dorothy Blackmere. Thanks to all of you who have been a part of our community tonight. And thanks to the divine who supports us always, even when we are not aware of it. And
could I have the playback number again, please?
Oh, sure, yeah. Let me just pull up that document again. So the playback number is 712-432-1085, and the access code is 990-322 £. And I'm not sure actually if that's in the invitation that comes out from Punch Bowl. Maybe Diane knows that, but let me know if that's clear. Okay, great.
I'm sorry, what is the access code again?
The access code is 990-322 £.
It's the same one as this call.
Yes.
Yes, although the number I'm not sure is the same.
No, it's different.
Diane it's different. Okay, yeah. So number is different, access code is the same. Okay.
So it's 1085. Okay.
Yeah, 712-432-1085. And I'm thinking of a blessing for tonight. What lit up for me was the verses of Bodhisattva's Way of Life, which is a special text in my spiritual life. So I'll read a few verses from that. May I be an inexhaustible treasury for the destitute. With various forms of assistance, may I remain in the Buddha's presence. For those who have resorted to me and have an angry or unkind thought, may even that always be the cause for their accomplishing every goal. May I be a protector for those who are without protectors, a guide for travelers, and a boat, a bridge, and a ship for those who wish to cross over. May I be a lamp for those who seek light, a bed for those who seek rest, and may I be a servant for all beings who desire a servant. To all sentient beings, may I be a wish-fulfilling gem, a vase of good fortune, an efficacious mantra, a great medication, a wish-fulfilling tree, and a wish-granting cow. So may I be in various ways a source of life for the sentient beings present throughout space until they are all liberated and attain enlightenment. Okay, and so that completes our call tonight, and I wish everyone a good night and a good solstice, and thank you so much for attending. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good night,
everyone. Good night.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Peace be with you.